And I spoke to the head of the Nurses Federation, Lisa Fitzpatrick, late this afternoon. Lisa Fitzpatrick, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, Josie, for having me.
Did nurses get what they wanted?
Not all of what they wanted. I don't think anybody does in an outcome of an enterprise agreement. Nurses certainly would have liked to have seen more improvements in our nurse-patient ratios, but of course for 9 months we've been battling the government to retain our nurse-patient ratios, retain qualified nurses in those nurse-patient ratios. So there is great relief that there will be no health assistance as part of our nurse-patient ratios, and that those ratios will be enforceable, and importantly that they just can't be dropped because hospitals can't afford to pay for them.
What about the pay though? Police was successfully negotiated the pay rise they were after. Why haven't nurses won the same pay rise?
Well, some nurses have done better than the outcome for the police. Our enrolled nurses are receiving between 5 and 7%. For example, in the first year, they got a pay increase over the life of this agreement around 22%. So our registered nurses at the bedside are getting between 4 and 4.5% per annum. So that is really consistent with the police outcome. Nurses up the more senior level, further away from the bedside, they are going to receive around 3 to 4% per annum over the life of the agreement.
So what got it over the line?
Essentially, I think nurses really defying the federal court and insisting on maintaining their support for nurse-patient ratios. I also believe that the Federal Minister, Bill Shorten, was very influential when he intervened to help get the parties together. I also think, I'm hopeful that of course the government realised that we weren't going to go away, we weren't going to back down, and it was important to try and settle the dispute rather than exacerbate it.
How important was the social media aspect of it in garnering public support?
I think it was quite critical. We obviously had over 15,000 people that liked our Facebook page. We had over 11,500 people speaking on that page at any given time. So it was quite critical, but I think most importantly is, nurses benefit greatly because everybody in the community has been touched or has been affected and understands what nurses do.
Finally, Lisa Fitzpatrick, one of your predecessors was critical of your tactics during the campaign, saying that you should have been going harder against the government. Did she get it wrong?
Most definitely. I think it's quite sad. We've had our other previous leaders who've come out and supported nurses, stood out on the footpath with them, rather than choose to, from the television studio, throw grenades at the Federation. I'm very disappointed.
Lisa Fitzpatrick, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thanks, Josie. Thanks a lot.